What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Missflips. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how I made this vertical accessory drawer. So before I even started my closet, I bought this off of Facebook Marketplace and had planned to put my old shoe rack on top of it, but I knew that that would unfortunately leave an awkward space because this shoe rack was not as wide as the dresser that I had bought. So I knew that I had to come up with something creative to fill that space. Luckily enough, I had just been on a plane ride and had all the time in the world to plan out my vertical accessory drawer. I would be able to store all of my jewelry and necklaces, and it would be able to spin on these two dowels that I would install, flipping to another side where my partner could store their accessories, or I could just keep it all for myself. So before actually building the drawer, I had to build the casing around it. This part of the process is going to be different for every single build, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But after the casing was built, I went ahead and screwed the drawer slides into place, and let me tell you, I was having a time and a half getting this back screw into place. Looking back on this process, I definitely should have bought more heavy-duty slides, so learn from my mistakes and buy more heavy-duty slides for your vertical drawer. My current drawer sags a little bit when it's pulled out all the way, so I probably will inevitably have to be replacing these drawer slides at some point. Once both drawer slides were in place, I took some measurements and cut down some pieces of wood that would serve as the top and bottom of this drawer. And then I measured out where the middle of each of those were and drew a line to represent it so that I knew exactly where to drill my hole for the dowels. For my drill bit, I'm making sure to use one that is the same width as the dowels that I will be inserting. Be careful not to drill all the way through the wood. Next, I put on a piece of tape on the drill bit to mark the depth of the dowel so that I knew exactly where to stop. Looking back, I will definitely stop before this line. That way the dowel doesn't go all the way into the wood and there's still more than enough space for the piece of wood to rotate. After that, I cut down the piece of wood that's going to be sitting in between these two pieces that's going to serve as my table that spins. Keep in mind that we do want this middle piece to spin, so only apply glue into the hole of the top and bottom and not into this hole that we're creating right now. Once all three pieces were assembled, I went in to make sure that everything was fitting exactly how I wanted it to, and nothing was too snug and that it would slide effortlessly into place. Which it did. So now it was time to make the front and back of the piece. I did this pretty nonchalant. It's nothing crazy. I just measured it out and drew a line where it needed to be cut, and then cut it down to size and put some glue on either side and then nailed it into place. I honestly have no idea why I didn't put the face of the drawer on it before I put it into place, but that's what I did, and I screwed it into place and then attached the face of the drawer onto it. You do not have to do this. Keep in mind that it is probably way easier if you put the face of the drawer on first and then attach it to the drawer slides, but hey, here we are. Once the drawer was in place and the rest of the closet was built and ready for trim, it was finally time to get it all set up where it could be one cohesive piece and look like it fit in perfectly. Keep in mind that you do want everything to be as perfect as possible, but if you make some mistakes along the way, trim is a very easy way to hide those mistakes. My cuts on the drawer were not perfect by any means, but I put on the face of the drawer and it looked so much better and way straighter than I ever could have hoped. So all that was left to do was fill the holes and then get to painting. And once the painting was all done, I put on some hardware, but unfortunately I just didn't have the space in this closet to film that. Just know that I used this really cool hardware tool to make sure that everything was aligned, which if you want to check out, it's going to be in the description below. As will these little ring holder pad things. I put some wood glue on there, and I know that's probably not the right glue for this project, but I did it anyways, and then I smeared it on both pieces and then put them into place and nailed in between each of the folds to get it snug and tightly right where I wanted them. And obviously, I should have done this before I put the things on. Obviously, I am very aware, but I didn't, so again, here we are. Learning from our mistakes. I hope that your project goes better than mine did because you watched this and you were like, she's doing that wrong. I can do better. For hanging things like sunglasses and watches, I ended up using the same drawer pulls that I use on the face of the drawer and the cabinet in my closet, just as a nice way to tie everything in. And to drill them into place, I used a piece of tape, marked where the holes were, and then used that as a template to drill through, and it worked perfectly. This side of the drawer is going to be my partner's. He doesn't have that large of a collection of accessories yet, however he is looking to grow his collection, so we're starting sparse, hoping to add more storage solutions as his collection grows, as his taste diversifies, and so on. For my side of the closet, I added the same thing, except I also added this little earring hanger that I got really cheap off of Amazon that I'm going to cut down to fit perfectly in this little space here. To attach it to the wood, I'm going to be using staples, which I know a lot of you will probably insult me in the comments for this egregious act I'm about to commit, but I professionally colored it in with Sharpie to hide the staples. And honestly, this lighting isn't doing me any favors. It actually looks really good in person. But anyways guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. This process has been one of the most rewarding things that I have ever worked on, so I encourage you to try things that you have never done before and to go forth and do the things that people say that you can't. Thank you so much again for watching, and until next time guys, stay flippin'.